Hi and welcome to the Gemhawks YouTube channel. I hope you're having a beautiful day today. For the free wire tutorial today, we're going to make a beaded crescent moon pendant. Let's head down to the board, take a closer look, and you'll see how very simple this piece is to make with just one piece of wire. This is the pendant design we're going to learn together today, and the bead I've chosen to use is a beautiful eagle eye bead, round 10mm. I just like how varied this stone is. Of course you can use a different size or type of stone. In terms of wire, we're going to be using 1mm or 18 gauge round wire. I'm going to be demonstrating with a medium temper raw copper. And we'll begin by making a really lovely smooth fluid wire by just warming that between thumb and forefinger a handful of times. So a couple of inches from the top, let's say about 5 inches from the top, we're going to turn a right angle, so just past the middle. And that's where we're going to start our pendant design today. So we're going to start up at the top of the upper horn of the moon, and we're going to create this by hand to begin with. So let's just grab hold of that angle change and use a thumb to create a little bit of an arc shape just coming away from that angle change. What I'm going to do then is grip about 1/2 inch from that point and bring that wire very sharply back on itself, and then just use my finger to open that out slightly into a bit of a curve. Now, if you have yourself some round forms or wooden mandrels, I'm going to be using some beadalon ones, the 0.87 or 22mm, and also the 1/2 inch or 12.7mm. I'm going to start with the smaller one. For reference, this is about the same size as a marker pen. So let's just put some real nice warmth into this section of wire. Bring in that round form of choice and rotate the wire all the way around, just so you get a really nice smooth arcing shape. Now you can have the horns of the moon occurring one above the other, completely stacked, but I like mine to be just a little bit further along on the back, so it looks as though that moon is leaning back and relaxing. Again, bring that wire firmly back on itself. Give that a little bit of a straighten if there are any issues, and then smooth along that wire. Now you can completely create this without any round forms at all, but if you do have one, what I'm going to do is drop that larger one in, press it down over the top of the whole design, and I'll show you that sideways now because obviously you can't see much. I just wanted you to see how much on top that is. And what we're going to do is pinch that underneath the round form and bring that tail of wire just around the outside of the round form. So it will get very springy and you can open that out when you're ready, but again you don't need a round form if you don't have access to one, and I'll show you that from the side. So what we're doing is keeping the moon flat against the base of the round form and then using that very end section of the round form to get the essence of an arc around the outside. Now if you don't have a round form to hand or anything that's the right size, I'll show you how easy it is to create without a round form at all. So I'm just going to re-smooth and warm this wire purely because I've done something to it and it's got a bit tense. Let's make that nice and warm again. So if you don't have access to a rounded form that is large enough for the outside of the moon, if you warm that through, what will happen is the wire will start to move in a lovely shape for you. So you can just modify that by hand as you need to, and just bring those two horns of the moon together as you desire. Your thumb is usually pretty good at making this kind of shape. So there we go, we've got the basic shape of our moon. Now you can of course draw this out on a piece of paper, press your wire down and follow along if you need to. Also, believe it or not, flat facing pliers are really good at helping you to achieve that shape. So if anything just doesn't look quite right, you can give that a tiny little tweak, and pretty soon you'll have a really nice moon shape. So do take your time just to refine any sections that you're not 100% happy with. And when you do have a moon shape that you're pleased with, what we're going to do is grip across the tail of wire coming off the back of the moon. I'll show you that sideways. I'm going to grip very firmly at the point where it goes across in front of that angle change. Push the wire all the way around to create a little bit of a hook shape. So what we need to do is just make sure that we're happy with how this shape has come together. So you can make any minor adjustments if you want to. You can straighten bits out, you can bend things closer together, whatever makes you happy in making your perfect crescent moon shape. Once you're pleased with that overall form, we're going to continue to wrap this tail around the upright. So in order to preserve the size of the moon that you've created, I'm just going to grip on the piece of wire just before that curve, and then I'll bring the tail of wire all the way around so that it snuggles around that upright, and I'll bring that across one more time. So I've got 2 wraps of wire around that central core, and then I'm just going to squish those so that they sit down at the base where that angle change took place. And you can give that a couple of gentle little squidges in with your pliers to make sure that you're happy with how that looks. Again, do take your time to make that into a really lovely shape that you're pleased with. It really is in the details, so do take a few extra moments to ensure that you're delighted with that crescent moon shape. As I said, I quite like the lower horn to be slightly further forward, so it looks like the moon is leaning backwards. But your interpretation of a crescent moon is what we're looking for right now. Just take a couple of extra moments to ensure that you're happy with that form, and then we'll move on to the next stage. Now, it's completely optional, of course, but if you want to add a little bit of strength and rigidity to this design, we could do just a little bit of hammering. I'm not really looking to change the shape of the wire overly. It has given it quite a nice shine, but it just means that it's a little bit more rigid. So what we're going to do now is move on to the next stage, which is to add our bead up at the top here. So I'm going to put some smooth warmth into that upper wire, slide my chosen bead onto the central core, and then we're going to wrap around that bead with this little sticky outy tail. Now, you do have options. If you wanted to add a spiral at this stage, you absolutely can, but I've gone for clean lines today. I do know that I often add spirals, so today, no spirals. Let's add some warmth through the smaller piece of sideways wire as well. Bring that bead firmly down against the spiral that you made just at the top of the crescent moon, and then draw it around the outside of the bead from the top of that core wire to underneath that core wire. And in that way, we're just adding a little bit of extra detail. So you can see that there's a bit of a gap, so I'm just going to pinch that firmly into position, draw that tail of wire all the way around. So I'm going to go for, I think, 2 wraps up above, and again, option for spiral. I'm not going to add any today. So this is up at the top of that bead. I'm going to flip the design over to the rear side, grab my flush cutters and trim that excess away. That's over 1 inch of wire, still plenty to make a little spiral. What we're going to do now is to make sure that that cut end sits down flat against that core wire by just rotating those pliers around, or rotating the design in the pliers, whichever is easiest for your wrists. Just getting that to sit nice and smooth, and then there are no sticky uppy bits. So at this stage, you will want to just double check that everything is still sitting how you imagined it to be. Apparently it's flipped from one side to the other. At this stage, I don't really mind actually. I often make moons sitting with the face that way for some reason, I don't know why. So if I wanted to, what I could do is just very, very softly smooth and warm that cut end of wire, and pretty soon it disappears from view, and I wouldn't have to worry about which was front and which was back anyway. So the next thing we're going to do is to make a small wrapped loop up at the top. So let's grab some bail making pliers. What I'm going to do here is to generate an extended drop between the wrapped loop and the bead. So I'm going to put my pliers across like so, a little bit further along than usual, because I want to get sort of 3 or 4 wraps after I've made that wrapped loop. So let's bring that wire forwards. Let's pop that little baby out of the way. And I think I'm going to use step number 5 on those bail makers today to make a really large aperture. So I tend to do my wrapped loops in 2 parts. So there's the first half, a little bit like a shepherd's crook. And then at this stage, what I want to do is have those 2 cut ends of wire meeting. So I need to do a bit of a think now, and my brain isn't really in gear today. So the cut end of the wire is coming from underneath and upwards on this side. So when I bring the tail of wire round, I will need it to go, let me think, if it goes that way, it'll go on the same side. So I need to bring it down this side where the cut end of wire is located, draw that all the way around. So let's retract those bail makers out of the way, grip across that round form and very firmly draw the wire around that core. So I think I'm going to get 4 wraps, perhaps even 5 wraps in. I think we might go for a record of 5. And what I'm aiming to do here is to bring the 2 cut ends together. So hopefully you can see the cut end from the lower section of wire is just here. So if I bring that piece of wire a little bit closer, don't think I'm going to get a 6th wrap. I might actually get a 5th wrap, sorry. So I'm going to bring the wire around one more time and make sure that it fits in that gap. So let me give that a squish. The wire has disappeared into the gap and around it goes once more. If that's being awkward, make it less awkward. A little bit of brute force and ignorance. So continue bringing that round. We've gone for those 5 wraps and we're where we were a moment ago. I've got the cut end just here. You can see that round, shiny section. That's the cut end of wire from the lower part of the pendant. So I'm going to bring the upper part a little bit closer and then flush cut. Enough wire to make a little spiral, so don't throw it away. Now we have 2 cut ends that are going to come together. So if I just flick that in the light, you can see ever so slightly sticking out at the base here is the new cut end. And what I'm going to do is to poke it into the gap so that the 2 cut ends nestle up together. Now this is the simplest bail that you can possibly hope to achieve. Just bringing those 2 cut ends of wire together. And what I'm doing is I'm just moving that bail or that neck section so that I can get the 2 cut ends to nestle up against one another. When they are there, I'm just going to rotate that elongated neck section around and add some strength to it. So there we have our basic pendant design. So if that's where you'd like to stop, that's absolutely perfect. Your pendant is complete. However, I've just found some really pretty tourmaline beads on my desk, courtesy of the gorgeous Fleur at Relax and Craft, and I think I'm going to add them to one of my designs. So I'm going to grab some 0.4 or 26 gauge wire and add some of those beads onto the silver version of this Crescent Moon Pendant. So now I'm going to add in 18 inches of 0.4mm or 26 gauge wire. And I'm just going to begin by winding on to the rear of that moon. So if I allow about 3/4 of an inch over the top of that design and just push that down, grab a pair of fine nosed pliers, and I'm going to begin by wrapping 3 times around that moon shaped frame. So you can use your pliers or you can do this by hand as you prefer. Now if you're working with precious metal to make this design, obviously you can be a little bit more thrifty. I'm working with plated metal today, so what I'm going to do is just make my life as easy as possible and cut away any residue. So I'm going to trim that inside the design, pop that scrap in the scrap pot and make sure that the end is smoothed down flush against the inside of that moon shaped frame. So if I scooch that nearly up to the top, I'm going to grab my first bead. So I'm going to add on one of those little tourmalines to the end of that fine wire and allow it to zip line all the way down so it sits against the outside of that crescent moon shaped frame. Now I could have used the copper wire, which would show up slightly better, but I think that the Plum Blossom Tourmaline looks nicer with the silver. So once I've got the bead sitting against the outside of that frame, I'm going to pinch it firmly into position, draw the tail of wire down underneath the frame, push the leading edge up inside that moon shape and draw it all the way around. Once I've pulled that firmly back in the opposite direction, it sets where that bead is going to sit. Let me put my finger underneath for better definition. So if I grip that little bead into position, I now need to wrap 3 times around the frame. 1, 2, it might wiggle around while you're doing that, don't worry about it. So I've got 3 wraps there, and all you will need to do is continue in much the same way. So let's get the wire ready for the next bead. Slide that on, allow it to zip line down into position, and then make sure that you scooch those beads up against the top section just here. It's very fluid at the moment, but the more beads you add, the more contact your beaded section will have with your frame, and it will begin to sit in position. So again, you will wrap 3 times around that crescent moon shape. That's once, that's twice, and that's a 3rd time, like so. So continue all the way around. You could just do the back of the moon, you could go all the way around, or you could even add those beads onto the inside of the moon if you prefer. So from that 18-inch length of wire, I've just got a teeny tiny tail left. I've wrapped 3 times around the frame, and again we're going to trim that wire so that the end fits inside the frame. So once you've cut that away, you'll need to just ensure that the end is tucked away neatly, and your spirals are all nice and tidy. We don't want that coming loose or catching on anything. So there is your second variation of the Crescent Moon Pendant, with and without beads. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed making Crescent Moon pendants with me today, either by themselves or with those extra little halo of beads. Have a beautiful day, and I look forward to seeing you again soon on the Gemhawks YouTube channel. Bye for now.